Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our Pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I'm your host, Kevin Wortham. Listen, if you have seniors or elderly people that you love, then I think that this episode is for you. Gogie, welcome to the platform. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Not a problem. So before we get started, let's just give a shout out to Lisa Agles, a dear friend of both you and ours. And She also has a podcast, but she also runs a company called the Eventing from A to Z. And so she does everything that one would need to know and moving forward with your invention, your idea, right? So let's get started. How did you come up with the idea? But first, what is the name of your idea? What is the name of your product? I'm sorry, not even your idea, it's your product.
Well, Answer Sure is the name, and it's a service.
Yes.
How I came up with it is actually a very personal situation.
Yes.
That happened with my own mother about 3 years ago.
Yes.
And she almost became a victim of a phone scam.
Okay. Wow. So Answer Sure is an idea, now a product that came out of a situation that your mother was almost a bad situation of.
Correct.
Can you share more of that situation so the listening audience will get a sense of that as well?
Absolutely. My mom, she's 87 now. She
Yes.
still lives on her own.
Yes.
I'm a proud Brooklynite. She lives in Brooklyn and very independent.
Yes.
She wants her own place. And 3 years ago, she called me. I was working at the time, and she was very upset. She said that, someone was at her door and she didn't understand what was going on. And I found out that she had been receiving these calls.
Yes.
And bits of information was being given over a period of time.
Yes.
And the person at her door was a scammer that went in the guise of her bank's representative. And they were asking for her bank card. They said it was defective and that they're here to pick it up. They had a letter that looked super official. The gentleman at the door looked like a bank manager. Luckily, a family member was visiting my mom. And as God would have it,
Yes.
I say God, they came at the same time that this person was at her door.
Yes.
And, of course, quickly dismissed them. It was at that time that my siblings and I realized that her phone is as much an access as her front door.
Very true.
And we had to find a way to limit that access that people had to her phone. And that was the birth of Answer Sure. I actually, before even thinking of creating this, I went and a service or product that could be a barrier.
Yes.
So I didn't want the phone to ring. My mother's of the generation, and she has the caller ID. She's gotten all the instructions. Don't pick up if you don't know the number and whatnot. But, at this stage of life, I said, I don't want to put the onus on her anymore.
Yes.
I'm going to find something that really creates a path of safety.
Yes.
Anyway, I didn't find anything that met my needs.
Okay.
And that's how AnswerSure was created.
Well, let me go back and just kind of fill in the blanks for me. So you're saying up until this point, your mother was answering the phone, maybe sometime give out information and perhaps personal information as to how they were able to track and get that close to her?
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. And there was no other service that would prevent that? Because I know sometimes when scammers call, they call from a 800 number, and the phone will tell you now that it's a number that you're not familiar with. It's a number that the service is not even familiar with. That still wasn't helpful for you.
Well, no, and I have to tell you, there's a thing called spoofing.
Okay.
Where the scammers, they have the technology to make a number look like it's a local call that's coming into you.
Yes.
Same exchange after the area code and everything, and give you a sense of ease in picking up the phone.
Now
they can make it look like it's coming from someone you know.
Now that is very true, because that has happened to me a few times where I see the number and I'm like, oh, that's local. Let me pick up the phone. I must know this person. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
No, not at all. And I want to be as transparent as possible. There are things out there,
yes,
no doubt about it. It just didn't meet my need,
yes,
which my number one need was I did not want her phone to ring,
yes,
unless it was someone that was really for her, that knew her.
Got you.
So I had to create some sort of vetting process.
Yes. And let's stop for a second, because I think that's going to be the key word going forward. You wanted your product that you were creating to be a personal vetting. So that's the operative word, personal vetting service.
Yes.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes. And that was really that was my aim.
Yes.
And that was the birth of this service, AnswerSure.
Yes.
We are a call vetting service.
Yes.
That helps prevent phone scams. In short, if I may, go over quickly how
please, by all
one
means,
plan works.
Yes.
Okay, we have utility on both landlines. They still exist. There are millions of landlines still out there in use.
Yeah.
And cell phones. We have an app for cell phones as well.
Yes.
But the landline service in particular is quite unique in that the client would have to forward their number.
Yes.
They would also have to gain a secondary line, because the technology today, you cannot forward a number and receive a number on that same telephone exchange. So you need to have a secondary line.
Yes.
For us, the secondary line was not a problem because the level of safety we were looking for, we didn't see it as a hurdle.
Got you.
But that is what is needed to have the service on a landline. We have two plans, a representative plan, which is just as it sounds. A human being would pick up a call that is coming in for you after you've forwarded your number. They would introduce themselves as good afternoon, AnswerSure, how may I direct your call, or to whom may I direct your call?
Yes.
They would say, and they would ask, do you have Joseph's password?
Yes.
And they either have it. If so, the call is put through. It rings on Joseph's phone, and Joseph knows that call has been vetted, so he has no hesitation or stress. If he does not, the caller does not have Joseph's password,
Yes.
with the representative plan, a message is taken,
Yes.
the date, time, phone number, the name of the person can leave their name and leave a message, and those messages are sent to the purchaser of the plan,
Yes.
of the service.
Yes.
And I preface that because, like myself and my siblings, we, we have this for our mom.
Yes.
So I receive any calls that come in and they leave a message, or very honestly, every call that comes in, if they know the code word or not,
Yes.
I receive a message. And that way, if there's someone that is legitimate that she needs to get to, or they need to get to her, I can call that person and give them the code.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me ask this question. So, because you mentioned that they must have a secondary line, that means that there has to be another phone number given to the, I guess, the recipient of the service, correct?
Well, the recipient of the service does need to acquire a secondary phone number. That phone number is not public. It should only be given to AnswerSure.
Okay. Now, does that become cost prohibitive for some of our seniors?
Well, I know with Verizon, let's say, it's $9.99.
Okay.
And that's an additional monthly fee. Yes. It definitely can. My service has a cost as well, a monthly cost.
Yes.
I believe, and I understand that there are different restraints, and there are some people that just cannot afford to have something like this. And I hope to get to a point where I can create various levels of service so I can have more people,
yes,
be a recipient of this vetting process. However, I, again, and my siblings, and I bring that up often because I do believe that children, particularly of older, independent people living on their own,
yes,
they're already purchasing devices and items to keep their parents safe. And I see this as another service that those children in particular could take a look at. I have clients that are in their 80s that they've chosen to do this on their own.
yes.
And I have some that their children are doing it for them.
I understand that, but I'm just thinking about some folks that are on a fixed income. Maybe a barrier to entry could be, you create a not-for-profit arm. That would then raise money from various agencies to pay for those folks who tell you, I love this service for my mother, or the person calling in saying, I would love this service for myself, but I'm on a fixed income. However, and then you can say, wow, no problem, because we've got the additional funding to pay for your service for a year or for 2 years or whatever the case may be. But that might be another option of creating a not-for-profit arm where folks can say, hey, is there a senior in your life that you care about that you would like to protect and serve as a buffer? AnswerSure is the answer. Well, that's not my 30-second pitch, but you get the
No, but you're 100% correct.
Yes.
And it's really quite advantageous that you brought up philanthropy, because my background is philanthropy.
Okay.
I was a nonprofit and political fundraiser for 30 years, and I do know
this. Then you know
yes,
this.
I do know this. And like you said, down the road, this is something I definitely would do, because I don't think that the cost should be the thing to not allow people to be as safe as possible.
Yeah. Now let's get down to the nuts and bolts of the business, and then we'll come back on the outside. You are the owner and founder of AnswerSure?
Yes, I am.
And it's
Yes.
AnswerSure LLC or AnswerSure Corp? Is it a corporation?
It's AnswerSure LLC.
Awesome. And what year did you start this idea, this company?
The idea was 2019 after my mom had that incident.
Yes.
But I started the company itself in 2021.
Awesome. Well, so first of all, congratulations. Now, my next question is, with the service that you're providing, AnswerSure, is there any proprietary technology or information that's yours, that you've created personally for this business?
I actually have a patent pending.
Okay.
On the process with the landline service in particular.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Now, thinking about the business, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh, I see myself going international.
Okay.
I see myself, the whole U.S., which our service is available in 50 states.
Yes.
But I see myself going international. These phone scams are an international problem.
Yes, they are.
Not only are many of the perpetrators from out of the country, out of the United States,
yes,
but there are many countries around the world that have even, worse problems than we do here.
Yes.
And people are losing billions, if not millions,
yes,
billions of dollars every year
yes,
from phone scams.
Very true.
So in 5 years, with God's help, I intend to go international.
Wow, I love it. So we're gonna keep that in prayer and keep it moving forward. Now,
Thank you.
Now my next question is: so in the development of the AnswerSure LLC, right? What were some of the challenges that you were facing when you were coming up with the idea and moving through the process?
Well, there were several. It was an evolution. I have to first say that.
Yes.
With any idea, it evolves, it changes. The evolution of AnswerSure, I knew I wanted a barrier.
Yes.
I wanted a call vetting
yes.
process. I didn't know how I would go about it. And to be very honest, it was my years in philanthropy
yes.
and making tons of phone calls to people to try to raise funds from them that gave me the idea of creating a barrier
yes.
that, like a receptionist, like an executive assistant, they're the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And I thought if I could create something like that, it would be helpful. Now, just so you have full transparency, I left my job. I was working full time.
Yes.
In May of 2020.
Yes.
They call it the big reset.
Yes.
And it was for me as well, and it still is.
Now stop for a second. You say the big reset. They call it the big reset. Why was it the big reset for you, though?
Well, I had been an entrepreneur before.
Yes.
I had a fundraising event planning firm in Manhattan for 11 years.
Yes.
And I left that. We had closed shop, and I started to work for someone else.
Got you.
And in 2020, May of 2020, I decided that I was going to step away from that.
Yes.
And at the time, my idea was to protect my mom and create something
Understood.
to protect her.
Understood.
And I was able to devote more time to it.
Got you.
That, very honestly, is not something that many people can do.
Very true.
But I have been very, very blessed that I've learned to be a saver.
Yes.
So I had the ability to make that decision for myself.
Got you. Now I'm going to tell you a funny joke, right?
Yeah.
My version of AnswerSure has been, I just take the phone off the hook, right?
I know.
And when people need to reach my mother, they call me on my cell phone. Then I go inside the house and put the phone on the hook and say, "Mommy, so and so is going to call you."
I know.
And you know
It's, I mean,
and that's like the running joke amongst my mother's friends. Hey, Kevin, I'm trying to reach your mother. Okay, yeah, call me in 30 seconds. I'll put the house phone on the hook. So I love your idea.
Well, I thank you, and I love your ingenuity. But you're right. And
Yeah.
again, what are you creating?
Yes.
You've created a barrier,
Absolutely.
right? You're the gatekeeper.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I use the analogy of the front door and your phone.
Yes.
It's access.
Yes.
The phone gives access to an outsider, to the person in that apartment or home.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, not everyone should have access.
Now, let me put you on the spot, right? What is your pitch? What's your presentation to get children that have elderly parents? What's your pitch to get them to utilize your service? What's your 30-second pitch?
Well, my 30-second pitch is, I don't believe that decisions should be made in fear. And I believe in prevention. With prevention comes a sense of power and empowerment. And if you don't need to be a victim, you don't need to know victims to know that phone scams is a crime that is not going away.
Yes.
It is a matter of time.
Yes.
AnswerSure is a tool, a service that can help lessen the prospect of becoming a victim.
Love it. Now my next question is, do you have any endorsements from local churches, senior citizen groups, or even particularly AARP?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. The short answer is no.
Okay.
I have endorsements from my clients, some clients that I
Yes.
actually have on my website.
Yes.
And I'm going to rotate them out and add more. However, AARP was one of the first organizations that I went to in 2021.
Okay.
And, though I got to their Washington office, I climbed and called and,
Yes.
Sent information. And the response that I received was that they liked the idea.
Yes.
They understood the concept and the
Yes.
need for it, but that I did not have the name recognition,
Yes.
and that I needed to really get our service out there,
Yes.
so that people would know about it. So,
And
I have been doing that.
And what's so funny? It's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And it's like you're grinding for so long, but because you don't have the name recognition, no one wants to be the first one, right?
That's right.
And so as an entrepreneur, I certainly can relate to that, but it just bites at my withers that happens all the time. And then once you become successful, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to tell you something, girlfriend. As soon as the other folks jump on the bandwagon, you charge them more for advertisement and endorsements, because this is crazy.
You're right. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. And you know what? But again, and I guess it's my background.
Yes.
When I hear no or not now,
Yes.
it's okay.
Understood.
It's okay. 'Cause I'm going to come back around.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going anywhere.
No, I know you're going to come back around, but I'm saying as we have to go through this process, it is so crazy that everybody wants name recognition. Why can't you jump on board and create the name recognition? Why can't you say that I believe in this product so much that I'm going to endorse it myself? And I don't care who else endorses it.
Exactly.
But because
they're not.
But because you're in New York City, though, a lot of the senior citizen centers, a lot of your senators, congresspersons would jump on this idea, because I'd be interested to know how many seniors are in New York City. In New York City, there's 8 million people.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I'm going to say at least a third of them are going to be, are going to be
Yeah.
people of senior citizen. What is senior citizen age anyway?
The 65. Well, some people say 55 AARP,
What?
but I look more 65 and above.
So you telling me I need your service now too?
Well, I need this. And you know what? I have to preface this. The demographic definitely retirees,
Yes.
older people.
Yes.
People are living longer. They're living more healthy. They're
Yes.
more vibrant, and they're also living on their own, right?
Yes.
By choice.
That's
choice.
right, yeah.
However, I've had several people, and I'm talking their 30s and 40s, that one put answer short on her phone.
Yeah.
Because she said, I'm just tired of hearing the phone ring.
Understood.
You know, I have a parents, a husband and wife, that
Yes.
they are looking at our app to put on their children's cell phone.
Yes.
Because they feel that the access is,
I love it.
You know,
I love it. So let's transition real quickly. You just mentioned the cell phone app. Now,
Yes.
is there a difference in the cost? If there's a difference in the structure for the cell phone app versus the residential service?
there is a difference in the cost and structure.
Yes.
The cost for the cell phone is $4.99 a month.
Yes.
It can be found on the App Store, on our website. And the structure of our app is very similar to the apps that are out there for this.
Yes.
Our app uses a dynamic list that we create. It has millions and millions of known scam numbers.
Okay.
Those known scam numbers will not ring your telephone,
Got you.
your cell phone.
Yes.
Now, I have to preface this. Numbers are infinite.
Yes.
So the cell phone may ring with a scam number that we don't know about.
Yes.
Okay? So as much as the millions and millions of phone numbers we do know about won't ring your number, I cannot sit here and say 100% that your cell phone will not ring at all.
Got you. But
There's nothing that's 100%. Let's just put it.
But let me ask this question though. So if the cell phone does ring and it is a scam number, do you have a way of going to the phone immediately and blocking it? So now the app recognizes that now as another number, and so it just flashes that a phone call came from that number.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
The user of the app.
Yes.
The user of the app.
Yes.
And the odds are their phone will say, possible spam, possible scam.
Yes.
They can block that number on their phone.
Yes.
And then the phone itself and our app
Yes.
will get that number and will be placed on our list and will no longer ring your phone.
Okay. So
go ahead.
So your app is constantly learning as it's also providing the service too.
Correct. That's why
love
it's
it. I love it. Now,
dynamic technology.
Now
Yes.
let me ask this question. So in terms of both services, how did you do the beta testing of both services, of both products?
Well, I was very fortunate. I have a dear friend, it's a colleague of my husband,
Yes.
that he is all things technology.
Yes.
And it was him and his, network
Yes. Okay.
that I told the idea to, and they loved it so much that they created the app for me. And they did the beta testing.
Wow.
This app has been in creation longer than the landline technology has
Got
been.
you.
We've, the beta testing is one thing, but also all the licensing,
Yes.
and we're on Apple cell phones and Android cell phones. You have to get all those approvals.
Yes.
and things. So, yes, the answer is it was through friends that are like family.
No. Okay. So let me stop you again. So because I'm hearing now that in order to do the app had to be approved by those service providers, correct?
Absolutely.
Well, there is a quiet endorsement now.
Well,
Verizon, Apple, Android, those are quiet endorsements now. Knowing on the back end as to how the App Store and app support system works. That right?
yeah, that I have to say, Kevin, that is 100% true. I never thought of it that way.
So did I
But
just have
you're
a
right.
touchdown? Did I just give you a
Yes, you
touchdown?
did.
Cha-ching. Wait.
Absolutely.
Is it touchdown or cha-ching? Which one is it?
Well, both.
Okay.
Both.
So
Because you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
So what I would now do is I would lead into my conversation saying that having endorsements by Apple and Play Store and Google Play, we are seeking to expand our audience. Right? I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I would do it that way. But I want to talk finances now. All right, I want to talk finances. And if I'm stepping on toes, tell me to shut the hell up. Here we go.
No, go ahead.
In terms of the beta testing, what was the original cost for that?
About all together, and I grouped it together.
Yes.
I don't know. It was $35,000.
Wow. And so when you decided that you needed to do the beta testing and someone says it's $35,000, you're saying, stay right there. I've got the check for you now. Or you said, we've got to find finance. We've got to raise the capital. How did that take place?
I have not raised a dime.
What?
It's all been out of pocket. I have not raised a dime. I mean, I have some clients now.
Yes.
But Kevin, I made a decision
Yes.
when I left my job in
Yes.
2020.
Yes.
And the decision was I'm going to bet on me.
Absolutely.
I'm going to bet on this product.
Yes.
I have the finances. It's not indefinite.
Yes.
Nothing is. But
Understood.
I knew that I could afford to take this leap.
Yes.
And I have not raised a dime, but I have colleagues and dear friends that have been saying I need to, start getting some venture capitalists looking at this.
Now, in the writing of the business plan, in which months do you say or show profitability?
Well, right now, I mean, with everything that's been out of pocket,
Okay.
I'm not seeing profitability yet, and I don't expect to see profitability for another, God willing. I'm saying 6 to 12 months, and I'm being conservative.
Understood.
But yes, which month? I know, people say you should do it, the third quarter, fourth quarter. I started the company in April 2021.
Yes.
And April has always is the month that I reassess and I look and I.
So when you say reassess, look, that means once a year you're looking at the business plan itself, or
no, I look at the business plan. I mean, it's on my desk. I look at the business plan just about, because to be very honest, I'm not wedded because the terrain changes.
Very true.
The technology, I'm sure,
Yes.
And I can say this, I'm sure in the next 12 to 18 months, there may be new technology that helps us do things a little more streamlined.
Yes.
So I do have a business plan that I change and I look at daily, but to make, substantive change on my desk.
Yes.
Substantive changes.
I love it.
I would say I may add something or take away something once every 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. Now, that's interesting. That's interesting because most times when I'm talking to people about their business plan, they always say, I'm looking at the business plan every quarterly, every so often.
No.
But you're telling me you're looking at it daily. So I guess you would have to because of the technology. Wow.
The technology, and I'm this is how I feel. I mean, because it's very personal because of how I entered this whole arena.
Yes.
Yes, we all want to financially, hit a threshold.
Yes.
But this is something I'm really, really passionate about. I think it's just a crime,
Yes.
and it's destroying people's lives. And it's a demographic. It's not the only demographic
Yes.
that these phone scammers are aiming at,
Yes.
but it's the demographic that does not have the time to recoup their losses. And I think that is beyond criminal.
Understood. Let's talk about that from a different standpoint, right? When you're looking at this in terms of saving your mother money, time, and energy, what was the competitive advantage of your business versus the competitors that were out there? What was your competitive advantage?
That the phone wouldn't ring.
That the phone wouldn't ring.
It
Gotcha.
wouldn't ring.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for. I did not find it.
Yes.
And that's why I created this.
Got you. And so you're saying that based on the research you've done thus far, that this is a $1 billion plus industry in terms of scamming.
100%.
Wow.
A year.
Wow.
Billions with a B and a S.
Wow.
It is incredible. And even a step more in the horrendousness.
Yes.
It's that very, very few times are the perpetrators ever caught.
Yes. Yeah.
Or money retrieved.
Got you. I've got another idea for you. Ready for this one?
Sure.
Let's put together the whole pack: residential, cell phone, and email. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes, to get different coupons or to open up different saving codes, you got to give your email. Well, somehow when you give your email to one company, on the back end, they're selling your email to someone else.
Yes.
And before you know it, and that's why I tell people, if you send me an email, text me first, because sometimes you can have 50 emails and 10 of them are from real people. The other one's just from marketers who bought your email address. So is there a service that you can create for that too? Because if you could do that, man.
I have the trifecta.
Yeah. Oh boy, man.
Well, now that you've mentioned it, that's something that I'm going to definitely look into.
I know that I have friends of mine that they always carry around in their minds this makeshift email. So if they go to a store or someone asks for their email address and they're not sure who they are, here's my email address. And it just goes into the scam file, not scam file, but it just goes into a file that they may check, once a month, because it's no one of importance.
Right.
Just to avoid checking your email daily. And I'm like, this is crazy. I got to go through 50 emails just to get the right one that I really want. So
exactly.
I have people text me, says, Kevin, I just sent you an email. I said, okay, thanks. I'll go check it now.
That's right. You're right.
Wow. Yes.
Access point.
Yes. I love the service. So one more time, what's the name of the service?
It's Answer Sure.
Yes.
LLC.
And is there anyone we want to give a shout out to?
Well, Lisa, ask Elise, absolutely.
Come on now. We opened the show by giving her a shout out, but I know, but we can give it to her again. Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, she deserves it.
Yes.
She deserves it. Lisa has been working with me, and she's a dynamo. Anyone that's been in her presence knows that, and she definitely does believe in the service.
Yes.
She believes in me.
Yes.
And I'd like to give her a shout out and a thank you.
Absolutely. And then who else do we want to give a shout out to?
My mom.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mom.
My mom.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
She's the reason why.
Yes.
She's the reason why.
Yes.
Shout out to my family, my customers.
Yes.
Just for believing in the service and finding value in it.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you. I want to shout out to you, Kevin.
Listen,
No, what you said something very, very true.
Yes.
Being the first to endorse anything,
Yes.
you have someone on your show,
Yes.
especially a new service.
Yes.
It does take it's a risk.
Absolutely.
It's a risk,
Absolutely.
and I thank you very, very much for it.
Not a problem. Again, the platform is to share the unabridged stories of entrepreneurs. And we want to make sure that the trials, the tribulations, right, the celebrations, right, we can talk about that. And so someone can find great inspiration and great takeaway from what you've gone through to be where you are. And so we are here today on this platform, this time to celebrate you, right? Because it is not every day that someone says, I want to start a business and I'm going to be successful at it. Because more often than not, they say, I'm going to start a business, and they find out they may have to fail 3 or 4 times before they hit the successful button. So I thank you for just soldiering on, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
this is worth it to me.
Yeah, now let's jump into that bag, right? What inspiration would you share to a budding entrepreneur, to an entrepreneur or someone who's in the game? What inspiration would you share with him or her?
I believe having a passion.
Yes.
Not just I like it, I enjoy it, but that you are literally dreaming about it.
Yes.
You are literally waking up and taking notes.
Yes.
Which everyone should have a notepad by their bed.
Absolutely.
Those ideas that just won't let you go.
Yes.
And then get all the information you can.
Yes.
Because to me, information and what we do with it is power.
Yes.
So you acquire all the information about the subject.
Yes.
And then see if your service, product, idea can enhance. Does it add value?
Yes.
And then step by step, I would see if you can find mentors.
Yes.
And when I say mentors, it doesn't have to be, exactly within the industry that you're looking to bring your service, product, or idea.
Yes.
But it can be a business, someone who has a business of their own.
Very true.
And speak with them on the steps that they took.
Yes.
And don't give up.
Okay.
Don't give up. If I've learned anything in these, 3 years, but, since 21, I have learned when it's darkest,
yes,
the light is right around the corner.
Very true.
I really, really have. I have met people in the times when I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to dip again into my thing.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? No, I'm being, let's call a thing a thing.
Yes.
I'm, and all of a sudden I start meeting people and their networking picks up because networking is important.
Now,
you have to network.
Speaking of networking, do you belong to any chamber of commerce in New York City?
Not New York. I'm actually in Jersey. I'm in Jersey.
Oh, okay. Why I keep thinking New York?
Well, my mom lives in New York, in Brooklyn. That's why I said proud Brooklynite.
Yes,
so it was me. But I came out to Jersey 20 years ago. But I do belong to the New Jersey Small Business Certified Small Business Council in New Jersey.
Yes.
And I'm looking to, join a few others.
Yes.
But that's the one that I definitely have. I also am a member of an organization in Jersey. It's called the GAC. It's Geriatric Advisory Council.
Okay.
And it's really quite a potent reservoir of individuals that work within the senior demographic and with the senior demographic.
Yes.
And for sure, it's for anybody.
Yes.
Anybody that's looking to, safeguard that access point of their phone or cell phone.
Yes.
However, I have made a concerted effort in the senior community and senior population in particular.
I love it.
Because, that was the reason it was birthed.
Yes.
for to protect a senior person.
Yes.
So those two organizations I do belong to, and they have been very, very helpful.
Wow. And again, the business here, it is so simple, but on the back end, you're telling me how often seniors are scammed. I think that the product is needed, right? I think the product is really needed
Yeah.
and necessary. Now, when you were thinking about your marketing, right? What does marketing look like for you? I mean, are you using a lot of social media to get the word out? How do you market your services or this particular service?
I definitely started with social media, and I'm
Yes.
still using social media, and it's been very, very useful.
Awesome.
Particularly Facebook and Instagram. I have to say those two.
Okay.
I'm on all social media platforms, but Facebook and Instagram have really, I've created a following,
Awesome.
and I do have a social media manager,
Yes.
and she has been fantastic,
Yes.
and staying on top of things and putting posts and keeping Answer Shore active on those sites.
Yes.
As far as media, magazines, newspapers, things like that,
Yes.
I have actually put ads in some local newsletters
Okay.
within senior communities
Yes.
out
I love
here
it.
in Jersey.
I love it.
I've done that. To ask Lisa plug again.
Yes.
I'm working with Lisa
Yes.
because there is a mythology to it,
Yes.
and on your podcast,
Yes.
it's a way of getting it out there, getting the media, the marketing out there.
Yes.
I am also learning because I'm a lifelong student. I'm learning that networking can lead to media,
Absolutely.
not the other way around. I really
Absolutely.
thought, Kevin, that media was, I had to go for the media. No, go for the networking.
Yes.
So I've learned that lesson, and I've been doing a lot of, my shoes are worn, and my car, I've been using a lot of gas and getting around, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
Now, does your mother know how successful the business has become behind her or after her?
she definitely does know
Yes.
that she is the nucleus of it.
Awesome.
She knows she's my reason
Yes.
why this was created. And I would dare say, yes, she does know, because when we first put service on her landline
Yes.
phone, and it would track every call, I would get notices for every call that came in.
Yes.
I would say about weeks, we put it 2 weeks, she got up to 39 calls a day.
Wow.
And I have that data,
Wow.
a day. And it was to a point where, she was just annoyed. She was,
Yes.
phone going in the background, and sometimes she'll let it ring, other times she'll pick it up.
Yes.
39 calls a day.
Wow.
And why I know that is when Answer Shore was put into her phone, because I want to be clear about this,
Yes.
she wasn't receiving those calls
Yes.
because Answer Shore picked them up.
Yes.
But with that, Answer Shore picking them up, they also document every call.
Got you.
So I was able to retrieve that data and see within a 15-minute period their 4 calls that came in.
Well, now
None of them for her.
Now, my next question is, speaking of the calls coming in, is there a data center or there's a centralized hub that you're operating out of?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I do have an office.
Okay.
And my call center is at a different location, but we do share with the purchaser of the plan.
Yes.
Every call that comes in, again, that's with the representative plan.
Yes.
And I have the information for every client, for every call that comes in. And it's just to keep a handle on the frequency
Yes.
and the number of calls. It also gives us data that we can share when a new client puts in the service,
Yes.
and how from the start of the service for till 6 weeks, even a month, we do another recalculation
Yes.
and see how the calls have decreased.
And so your call center, and this is a stupid question. I already know the answer already. I just want to hear you tell me yes. The call center is manned or operated or staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And so your representatives, they're working in what, 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts. How does that work for you?
You know, because of technology, people are able to work from their homes.
What?
So
That's
we
fantastic.
we have some people that work 12-hour shifts. We have some that works 8-hour shifts. The what we found is quality, not quantity,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But we're able, because of that flexibility,
Yes.
that many of our representatives, call representatives, work
Yes.
from their home.
Wow.
So we there's no shortage of our reps, which is great.
I love it. So you're almost, you're almost raising another industry within an industry. Wow, I love it.
Well,
I love it.
I didn't think of it that way, but
Yeah.
gosh, you're a wealth of knowledge.
Listen, I am a serial entrepreneur. So like you, I just sometimes sit and think about what if. And if I'm passionate about something, then I become like a bear with teeth, and I just go after it until that's been satisfied in my vision, right? So I thank you. I thank you. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
And as I always say to all of our interviews, this was not an interview. I hope that you saw this as a conversation, and you're so certainly always welcome to come back on the platform to share with us any additional information as to how you're growing. But have we touched on everything today that you think the listening audience would want to know about you, the company, and your service?
Well, I think so. Just one more thing.
Yes.
If anyone has an interest,
Yes.
again, we're still small. We're growing, but we're
Yes.
small. I am more than happy to have a conversation.
Yes.
I'm more than happy, take a look at our website,
Yes.
review it, see, but we have contact number there.
Well,
And
give us that information as to how they can reach you, right? The name of the company and the website and all your Facebook, LinkedIn. Give us all that. And but when the episode is released, it's going to also be at the bottom of your bio too. That you're going to provide that with me as well.
Terrific. Okay.
Yes.
The name is AnswerSure LLC.
Yes.
The website is www.answersure.com. The phone number is 732-702-0010. Facebook, we are AnswerSure.com. Instagram, we are AnswerSure_LLC.com. The others, Twitter and LinkedIn, we are also AnswerSure LLC.
Wonderful. As they say in church, our hearts and minds clear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're gonna wish you nothing but continued success and blessings on this journey. But this was fantastic. This was fan. I really, well, I mean, you know what? I enjoy all my conversations, but when you start talking about seniors, because my mother is 94,
God bless her.
Yeah. I'm like, and it's a day-to-day challenge keeping our seniors, our parents happy. And so whatever we can do to protect them and make our jobs a little easier, I am all for that. So I just love your service and continued success. And maybe one day I'll stop taking the phone off the hook and I'll get Answer Sure as well.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, well, we'll talk about it, Kevin. We'll talk. But I thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yes. You have been fantastic. And let's stay connected, and we'll talk and text soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you then.
Okay. Bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.